Hi, everyone. So let's do a collective reading to try to capture some of the energy that's around us today. I'd like to roll a zodiac dice first, not because this is your sign, but I just want to know the energy that we're meant to work with. So we have Libra, and Libra is a very balanced energy. It can be about partnerships, it can be about fairness. So let's see what else wants to come through with this Libra card. So this could end up having to do with our interpersonal relationships. But let's see. I have 3 tarot decks and ancestor messages that I'd like to use for this reading. So we're starting with the 4 of Cups and the Chariot. So it feels like there's something, well, especially with Libra and the 4, because Libra and the 4s, what they have in common is a sense of stability and a sense of balance. So the 4 of Cups is telling me that you have reached some kind of emotional balance when it comes to something. We'll have to see what that is, if it's a relationship or if it's something else. But the Chariot is about drive. It's about willpower. It's about moving something forward. So maybe this is saying that it required you to become balanced. The Chariot is about balancing the energies. It's about balancing the shadow and the light so that you can be in alignment to move something forward. So we're getting a lot of messages of balance coming through. So let's get one ancestor message. If we can get one. There we go. Next level. I love that. So this could be that you are leveling up. You're driving something forward. And that's what we were saying about this Chariot, is that it feels like there is something that you're moving forward, some kind of drive, something that's moving in your life. And it could be because you have gained some stability. I'm seeing the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of this deck. But let's see what the tarot wants to tell us. The 4 of Cups can also sometimes be about reminiscing about things or remembering things from the past, learning from the past, and therefore you get balance because of that. But let's see. So we have the High Priestess, 4 of Wands. So there's another 4. So these are those energies of really great foundations, great balance. Knight of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, underneath the Hermit, 6 of Wands, 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords. Underneath everything is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is a very confident energy. So seeing this underneath, it may be telling me that your confidence is wavering a bit on something, and that there may be something that you're trying to balance out is what I'm really getting, but you're getting there. The point is, this balance is needed. This balance is necessary in order to continue to drive something forward, whether it's just your everyday life, whether it's something you're working on. We'll try to get as many details as we can, but there's something you're meant to advance with next level, and certainly with the Chariot. And it feels like it's getting balanced, that perhaps you had to change your mind about something, or perhaps you had to remember something, because I'm getting a reminiscent kind of energy from the 4 of Cups. So it feels like there's something that you learned that is now helping you balance the energies, and that it feels like there's a need to change your mind, because I can see in your potential final outcome, it feels like you're heading in the wrong direction right now. So it feels like there is a need to change your mind. But let's try to get into this one by one. I'm just going to start with this first column here, because it's 2 very significant cards. It's 2 majors. We have the High Priestess and the Hermit. This is all about inner vision. This is about knowing on a deep level. It's knowing on an intuitive level, a clairvoyant level, a clairaudient level, hearing things, knowing things, seeing things, because you're so in tune with yourself, and you're being asked to focus on that because you're headed in this wrong direction. With this potential final outcome is telling us something. There's a clear message here to really focus on your intuition, focus on what is not seen. In other words, focus on what is not so obvious, focus on the subtle things. Again, with the 4 of Cups, I was getting a similar message, that You really meant to look back at something and think about it and learn from it and balance those energies out. But they can only come from within you because they're not seen. They're not outwardly seen. You don't have direct evidence, for example, of something that you're trying to figure out. So with these two coming together, the High Priestess and the Hermit, this is about really tapping into the unseen and using your spiritual psychic abilities in order to get to that truth, in order to get to that balance so that you can get to the next level. In your challenge position, we have the Four of Wands and the Six of Wands. So you're struggling. You're struggling right now with whatever your current foundation is, whatever you've already built. So if this is with another person, if this is a project, if this is a career, it feels like what you have already built, you're failing to see any amounts of successes about this right now. And so therefore, I feel like it almost feels to me like your heart is breaking because what you thought was going to be something very celebratory and very successful, it just didn't go the way you thought it was going to go. So if we were to say this is a relationship, for example, that you thought something very different than the outcome of the situation. It's like the relationship went sideways. You saw it going in a certain way. You started laying the foundation. You thought it was really going great. And then all of a sudden, the wheels came off the bus. And you're in that stage right now where I feel like you're trying to recover from that. You're trying to get balance from that. And these cards are saying, use your intuition to really discern what is going on here and why this thing went sideways, because that's how you're going to find the balance and the willpower and the drive to continue to move this forward, because this feels very stuck right now. It feels very stuck. With the Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, this is a message of perseverance. The Knight of Pentacles is the most loyal and the most dedicated and the most reliable court card. So the message is to not give up. It's just saying go in a different direction. So what this means is don't lay down in this relationship that isn't going anywhere, or don't lay down in this relationship that went sideways. This is about fighting to move forward and beyond, because if you don't, then we're seeing this potential final outcome here, which we don't like. We don't like to see a Five of Cups and a Nine of Swords and a potential final outcome. So when we do see that, we know that a shift has to be made, a change has to be made. Change your mind about something. Use your intuition to see what's really going on here. Because I get the sense that if you stay in whatever this is, you're just going to be repeating cycles, and you're going to end up back in a Five of Cups and a Nine of Swords, which I would assume or guess that you've already been in this energy, which is why you're trying to find balance. So do you see how this can just loop around? If you don't see this situation for what it truly is, it's just going to end up disappointing you over and over and over again. It's a very obscure energy, though. It's not super clear. And I think that's why we're seeing the High Priestess and the Hermit, because you really need to use your intuition to see the secrets, to see the mysteries, to see what's being concealed in this situation, because it certainly feels like there is something, but it's so obscured that you can't get there. You can't see it. You have to use your High Priestess and Hermit and intuition, intellect, inner knowing, all of those things in order to get your answers. And even if you can't get the answers that way, but it looks like you can if you focus, this is still saying that this is not the right environment. The struggle is to find any kind of victory or any kind of success with this current situation that you're in, this current relationship, current career. Make it make sense for you. But the Knight of Pentacles is really saying to nurture yourself, take care of yourself, and push through this energy so that you don't end up back in this loop. This is an energy of pushing your way out of that loop. So that is the message. It's clear to me that the message is for you to get out of this, to somehow escape this. But it's going to require a lot of your will, a lot of your willpower, which is why we're seeing the Chariot, in order to drive this forward. When we sometimes get into bad relationships that feel obscure, or we feel stuck, or we feel like we don't really know what's going on, it's easy to just stay there because you're saying, well, I don't know. I don't have irrefutable proof that this person was doing something behind my back. But that's the message. It's saying, but that's why you're stuck, because you don't have that proof. You're not doing anything about it. And this is certainly telling me, the cards are telling me, for you to do something about this, to not avoid it, to not block it, to not push it away, to actually power through it so that you don't end up stuck in this cycle. Because the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Swords is the ultimate result of staying in this particular situation. And the 5 of Cups is a really strong feeling of hurt and even avoiding conversations and being upset and being stressed with the 9 of Swords, certainly stressed with the 9 of Swords. But the 4 of Cups is saying it's time for balance. You don't need to be in this energy anymore. So I feel like I hope I'm not being too redundant and that I've made my point. I think you do. I think you understand. I know you do. So with the High Priestess and the Hermit, we have Fortitude, which is the Strength card. So this is about vitality. This is about courage. This is seeing something. This is shouldering that knowingness, knowing that your intuition is almost weighing down on you, trying, like screaming at you, which intuition rarely does, but it's really trying to show you that this situation is a really toxic loop and it's time to push through and out. The 4 of Wands and the 6 of Wands are with the Fool. This is about optimism and this is about freedom. If you are struggling to find anything to celebrate in this situation, any amount of stability, any foundation, any success, any happiness, if you're struggling to find optimism in this situation, the Fool is saying, get yourself free of that. Push yourself through this. We've got Strength and the Fool behind you, putting wind in your back, saying you can get yourself out of this. It might require some blood, sweat, and tears with the 9 of Wands, but you can get yourself out of this. Then we have the 9 of Cups. This is about contentment and satisfaction. Get yourself out of this is the way to true happiness, is the way to get what you want. Because if you stay here, we already know what's going to happen. We have the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups should be about respect and should be about balance. Does this feel like respect and balance? So this is just a reminder that whatever this relationship is, I'm guessing it's a relationship because we did see Libra, we're seeing the 2 of Cups. It's not balanced. It's very clear that it's not balanced. It's stressful. It's creating regrets. It's creating a lot of disappointments. But I see you going back again, time and time again. I see you going back. And this is saying the only way to get yourself satisfaction in this situation is to leave, to get out of it. That seems very clear. And it's not going to be easy. That's clear too. But you have Strength in the Fool in, as I said, with the wind in your back. The universe is trying to help you push through this so that you can get out of this loop. So there you go. That is our collective reading. Will you please let me know how this was resonant for you? Consider subscribing to the channel if you like my vibe, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.